This is Business Now, supported by ABSA Bank Uganda. And speaking of ABSA, the Comesa Competition Committee has begun reviewing a transaction between ABSA Bank Uganda and Standard Chartered Bank Uganda on a planned acquisition of the latter's wealth and retail banking business. Having said that, this program is sponsored by ABSA Bank Uganda. We remind you that ABSA Bank Uganda's custody banking service provides institutions like pension funds, fund managers and insurers with the safekeeping, settlement and servicing of their financial assets in Uganda and globally. Talk to your nearest ABSA Bank branch across the country about this service. So let's now dive in, because in this edition, regional monetary authorities are sounding fresh warnings on persistent global economic shocks following a major sitting of the Comesa Committee of Governors. It's chaired by the Bank of Uganda Governor. In our asset acquisition segment, we will take you to the groundbreaking of one of Kampala's latest luxury apartment towers, The Bridge, by VAR Real Estate, officially flagged off by the Investment Minister, another addition to the city's high-end real estate sector. And in capital markets, a major industry shake-up is underway as the Capital Markets Authority and the Chartered Institute of Securities and Investment roll out new mandatory qualification requirements for all market practitioners. Business Now starts now.
The conduct of monetary policy in our region is no longer a narrow technical exercise. It is a multidimensional task requiring foresight, coordination, and credibility.
We look forward to deliver a home that truly lives up to its name, a place where residents can escape within.
So all these things that we are doing is to build the investor confidence and to build trust for people who are in the sector, so that more people can come and participate in the sector.
So let's go in. We are supported by ABSA Bank, and we remind you that ABSA Bank Uganda's custody banking service provides institutions like pension funds, fund managers and insurers with the safekeeping of settlement and servicing of their financial assets in Uganda and globally. Talk to your nearest ABSA Bank branch across the country about this service and have your life sorted. This is Business Now. Let's first have a look at some of the stories that are being debated across global markets. And one, the global markets are on the edge this week as investors weigh signs of the slowing inflation regime against central banks' cautious tone. In Africa, a rare synchronized easing cycle among central banks could unlock fresh lending, but analysts warn of lingering foreign currency risks. Now, oil markets remain under pressure as a growing global glut drags down prices. For African oil exporters, the slump threatens fiscal revenues, even as cheaper energy imports offer a temporary reprieve to other economies. As the G20 gathers in Johannesburg, the first summit ever on African soil, leaders are expected to deliver on debt reforms, energy transition finance, and critical minerals. For Africa, the stakes are high. More value chain investment could shift the continent away from raw export dependency. This is Business Now. We take you to a high-profile bank executives. Comesa's central bank's governors have warned that the persistent global shocks are disrupting supply chains and fueling commodity price volatility, adding fresh pressure on the region's fragile economies. Meeting in Kampala, the governors are chaired by the Bank of Uganda, and Governor Michael Ating said the bloc's export potential remains largely untapped, with intra-Comesa trade still at just 6%, despite posting about $14 billion in exports in both 2022 and 2023. They urge the coordinated monetary policies, stronger regional sourcing, and improved market information systems to cushion member states from external shocks. The governors also cited the AfCFTA as a key anchor for deeper integration and resilience, stressing that stable financial systems and efficient cross-border payments are essential to unlocking trade and investment across the region.
On central banking and amid global shocks, our economies, diverse in structure, yet united in vulnerability, have faced successive waves of global disruptions. You are aware of the COVID-19 and its aftermath, the reverberations of the geopolitical conflicts, tightening of the global financial conditions, and the mounting risk of climate change. Each shock has tested the resilience of our monetary frameworks and exposed the fragility of our dependence on commodity cycles. Across the region, responses have varied, but a shared common thread is resolve. During pandemics, liquidity support and regulatory forbearance sustained the critical sectors. When inflation surged, decisive tightening restored credibility, even at short-term cost to growth. And exchange rate volatility, interventions were calibrated to prevent disorderly adjustments while preserving market signals. The lesson is clear. Credibility and clear communications are as vital as policy rates itself. When markets and citizens trust the central bank's commitment to act decisively and transparently, expectations remain anchored and the cost of adjustment is reduced. Yet monetary policy cannot bear the full weight of stabilization alone. Fiscal prudence and central bank independence must remain twin pillars of lasting macroeconomic stability. Regional cooperation is equally vital. Platforms such as Comesa Committee of Governors and continent-wide initiatives under the Association of the African Central Banks enable harmonization of standards, data sharing, and coordinated responses. The African Continental Free Area and the regional payments and settlement systems offer pathways to integrated shock-resistant markets. Uganda's own experience illustrates this resilience. The Bank of Uganda has embraced risk-based supervision, conducted regular stress tests, and integrated sustainability into monetary policy and bank oversight. Despite the global fuel prices surge and the pandemic aftershocks, our financial sector has remained stable, supported by prudent regulation and adequate capitalization. Meanwhile, mobile money has expanded financial inclusion, even as it introduces new risks requiring vigilant oversight. The conduct of monetary policy in our region is no longer a narrow technical exercise. It is a multidimensional task requiring foresight, coordination, and credibility. In a crisis, our legitimacy rests on preserving stability and confidence. In recovery, it depends on ensuring growth does not compromise price stability. In prosperity, it demands preparing for inevitable downturns. Emerging technologies like fintech, digital currency, data analytics offer powerful tools for inclusion and risk monitoring, but also introduce new vulnerabilities. Our role is to create an enabling environment where innovation thrives within the framework of trust, transparency, and resilience. So we should ensure that our monetary policies not only respond to crises, but anticipate them, not only manage commodity cycles, but transform them into opportunities for structural progress.
The domestic, regional, and global financial landscape is increasingly characterized by uncertainty. In fact, uncertainty is now certain. Interconnectedness, that is through supply chains, trade, you name it. Rapid change. In fact, change is now the only constant. More and more external shocks, whether economic, geopolitical, climatic, or technological, arrive with little warning, and their impacts can be swift and far-reaching. Who would have thought that cyber issues will become part of our dashboards in risk management and risk mitigation? Today, you ignore cyber risk at your own peril, not to mention the impact of AI. The question is no longer whether shocks will occur, but how prepared our financial systems are to absorb them without compromising stability, trust, or long-term growth. Strong capital positions, sound liquidity and financial buffers, effective risk management systems, and forward-looking regulatory frameworks are fundamental.
Let's talk real estate. VAR Real Estate has broken ground on its second luxury residential development in the capital, Kampala. The Bridge Kololo, a striking twin-tower complex rising on Plot 13 Impala Avenue, in the heart of Kampala's most prestigious diplomatic neighborhood, following the ongoing construction of Cadenza, Uganda's tallest residential tower in Nakasero. The bridge, Koloro, offers studios, we heard, starting from $100,000 in the bedroom units, from 144,000 two-bedroom apartments to $260 and three-bedroom residences going up $250,000. And that's the position of the market. It's one of the most competitive priced high-end projects in the city. The on-site groundbreaking ceremony in Kololo was officiated by Finance Investment Minister Evelyn Anite. She also holds the privatization docket, and she, in her remarks, she says that this signals strong government backing for foreign direct investments in the fast expanding real estate sector amid a national housing shortfall of 2.4 million units.
We need to have standards because the electricians we use, they like to cut corners. The plumbers that we use, that's why you'll see that somebody has put up a very nice building, then you'll have a problem with plumbing system. Then you put very nice laid down tiles. Before too long, 1 year, 2 years, your tiles are popping up. And then you're asking yourself, why is my tile popping up? You spent a lot of money and the tiles are popping up, and yet you've just been mopping the house normally. Then, so we need to have regularized standards. You're having electric circuits. We should get people who have certificates, who are standardized, who are regulated, and these names should be publicized so that they are the ones whom you can contract to be able to do for you the work. For me, I think the incentive that we should give is to those who are manufacturing the raw materials that we use. We should get incentives, first of all, for the plumbing materials, incentive to the manufacturers, those who are able to manufacture, so that we have them accessed here. The cement, so that cement is cheap. Mutayimbwa, so that Mutayimbwa is cheap. All the building materials, if they're available and affordable, then the cost of building will become low.
This is the start of a new chapter for this neighborhood, for our clients and for the community we serve. From the time we introduced the bridge to the market, our clients have trusted the location, the concept, the progress, and the team behind it. That trust is the reason we stand here today. A home must do more than offer walls and space. That's why the bridge is shaped around 25 amenities, designed with people's real needs. Today, this is our commitment that we will deliver what we promised. We will follow the timelines set. We will maintain the quality our client expects from us. And we will remain supportive and present throughout the entire journey. We look forward to deliver a home that truly lives up to its name, a place where residents can escape within.
Right now we are running almost 16 projects all over 3 countries in Africa, Kenya, Uganda, and Uganda, and Ghana. Within 2 months, 3 months, we'll launch the 4th branch in Tanzania.
For those that have not yet managed to actually invest, who have not yet managed to pick up any units, there's still an outstanding opportunity. As of today, good enough, the whole entire board is here. There's already still an exciting opportunity to own the studio from as low as $86,000 payable over a period of 36 months. That is, again, that will get you an opportunity to, if you're an investor and you like to make some money, you get to make almost all the way up to 32% ROI on these units.
Now, Uganda's capital market sector is bracing for a transformative upgrade in professional standards, with the Capital Markets Authority and the Chartered Institute for Securities and Investment unveiling mandatory qualification mandates set to take full effect by January 1st, 2028. And under the new framework, all aspiring licenses must pass CISI, and the exams undergo ethics training and log continuous professional development, the CPD, the hours annually, building on a 2026 transition period for existing practitioners to ensure alignment with international benchmarks and meet fintech and sustainability-driven evolution in financial services. So CMA CEO Josephine Okui, Osia, hailed the partnership as a cornerstone for elevating integrity and expertise poised to fortify investor trust in a market hungry for credible intermediaries as Uganda accelerates its economic diversification.
So CISI has different levels, and those levels also require people to sit exams and get to different levels of membership. As we launch it today, we are giving people time, and therefore the deadline of 1st January 2028 means that whoever will be coming to us for licensing needs to have the minimum qualifications to act either as a dealer, stockbroker, investment advisor, transaction advisor, whichever category that they are in, because at that point is when we are going to start enforcing. So we are giving people effectively almost 2 years to comply, to do the exam, to get the minimum continuous professional development hours, and be ready and be at the standard at which we require them to be. But really, I think everyone needs to at least attempt the first paper, which is the introduction paper. But the one that we are going to really emphasize on that they need to do is the one around ethics. So even if you're not doing the exams, for you to become a member, you need to have done the ethics paper. So all these things that we are doing is to build the investor confidence and to build trust for people who are in the sector so that more people can come and participate in the sector. So really that is the drive. Professionalism, integrity, so that investor confidence goes up. Yes, because if you don't have professional people, particularly the international community is very keen on people who are on certifications, and they will only come to your market if they feel that your people are skilled enough to handle their money. And that's what we are trying to build, to ensure that the people in Uganda are skilled and the international community and everybody else, the investing community, is confident that when they come to Uganda, their money is going to be handled in a professional manner and therefore attract them to invest. You know that our treasury bills and bonds are giving good interest rates and everything, but we need to layer that with trust and investor confidence.
The CISI, first of all, is a professional body in financial services. We are a global non-profit professional body in financial services, and ideally we are in two particular spaces. All right, so we offer qualifications in two particular spaces, and we are also a membership body. All right, that's the investment space and the banking space, primarily the investment space. All right, and at the CISI we are in the business of building professionals within financial services, and that is exactly what it is that we have come. That's a value add we are looking to do, or looking to introduce into the Uganda financial services sector. Okay, building professionals at a global standard, all right, that will be able to basically do have the right knowledge, all right, when it comes to the subject matter, when it comes to the various areas of specialization, whether they're in fund management, whether they're in brokerage, all right, build the right skill and expertise, all right, that's now comes with continued learning. Okay, it's not just about doing qualifications, but how do you stay relevant? The financial services sector is changing in leaps and bounds, all right? Now they know with data, with AI, with sustainability, all right? So how does someone grow their skill and expertise, grow professionally, grow career-wise, and in turn, grow the sector, all right? That comes now, that's the second pillar of growing skill and expertise. And all that within the cocoon of behavior, all right? Integrity and ethical practice is something that we try as much as possible to uphold in our qualifications, in our membership offering. All right, so that's what it means, building a professional. That is exactly what we have partnered with the CMA Uganda to do, to build professionals within the financial services sector of Uganda at a global standard. All right, that will now grow the trust, the confidence, okay, of investors in this market. It's all about the growth of the sector.
That brings us to the end of this edition of Business Now, brought to you in partnership with Absa Bank Uganda, championing secure and seamless markets through its custody banking solutions. For more updates and behind-the-scenes insights, Follow me at Malcolm Musime on X. You can also catch a replay of this program on our NTV Uganda YouTube channel. And remember to subscribe for more business coverage from across the region. Up next is NTV Tonight with the day's top stories and the most trusted news in the country. Do not forget to read the Daily Monitor, Business Daily, and the East African newspapers for a deeper regional news coverage. I'm Malcolm Musime. Thank you for watching and have a good evening.